Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. I'm Sowunmi Kimbaloye, Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Sowunmi Kimbaloye. It's no news that the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has rejected the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari and the All Progressives Congress, APC. The PDP has its grievances. They claim the votes are not the true reflections of what happened on the field. Today, different arguments have come to play since the PDP challenged the victory of the APC. Issues like hacking of INEC server, allegations of hiring of a foreign firm, and lobbies to work against Buhari's inauguration and recognition as winner of the 2019 presidential election. The latest is that Atiku Abubakar is not a Nigerian. Well, if you look at what the Constitution says in Section 131, the first criteria of wanting to become a Nigerian president, according to the Constitution, is that it must be a citizen of Nigeria by birth. That is what the Constitution is. The APC has petitioned, and it says Atiku is not a Nigerian. Tonight, we get some answers to these issues, which are of a national dimension or, say, international dimension. Because when allegations of hiring a foreign firm to convince another country not to recognize an elected president at inauguration or stalling the inauguration, whatever the debate may be, joining me tonight is the spokesperson of the Atiku and PDP Presidential Campaign Council, Mr. Sowunmi. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you for having me.
Let's begin with the conversation around... first and foremost, did your principal at any point, maybe before the election or during the election, hire any foreign firm as lobbyists or as a PR agent?
I think the answer to that question is yes and no. Yes and no, because a campaign of the magnitude that the PDP ran with a nation that has a lot of diaspora and audience, with Nigerians who live in other countries of the world having great interest in what's going on here. Some of those supporters obviously engage some of those people. And because it is Atiku, the extra interest in those matters are high. What you hear in public space and in social media and even sometimes on real papers is a suggestion as though His Excellency Atiku Abubakar abandoned this campaign and then ran to America and started paying lobbies. That's not true. The part that first came out was that the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria, in this repositioning effort, way before we even got to the point of presidential candidacy of Atiku Abubakar, had taken on some support from international agencies to look at how to reposition the party, to deepen it, to make it more gender-friendly. Because, you know, democracy is not an isolated event that you practice as a cocoon under your own, you know, enclave. Democracy must strive to meet international best practices and acceptable standards. And in that process, a lot of conversation takes place. Some of the people that will normally support and, you know, get you to be more democratic are the same way you get money from United Nations, the same way you get from the World Bank, the same way you get from DFID, the same way you get from IRI, and all of those institutes who are interested in the deepening of the Nigerian. But in the real sense of maybe paying money to any lobbies, the answer is no.
Are you familiar with the name Fain and Delville PLLC?
Yeah, I'm aware of that disclosure that must take place when lobbyists are engaged in America, which requires that anybody who wants to get into some form of lobbying on behalf of corporations outside America must file that claim. But I'm not sure anywhere in that which you are claiming did say Atiku Abubakar.
You're actually moving ahead of my question.
Yeah, just so that you know.
But
so that you know.
I know you're very smart, Mr. Sowunmi.
No, I'm not very smart. I'm very honest.
No, but let's look at the fact. Are you familiar with that name, that company?
I became familiar.
PLLC.
So I became familiar with it when it began to become a major issue on social media.
Did you think that there was any, or do you know, because you spoke for the campaign organization at the time, at any point in time, was there any kind of interaction between the firm? Did they do any work for your campaign organization?
No, they didn't do any work for the campaign. I've tried to explain the circumstances to you for the benefit of the Nigerian audience who are interested. Nigeria is a big nation with a lot of diaspora communities. just like the APC and Muhammadu Buhari and his own followers are in England and all over the place, Atiku Abubakar and PDP naturally also enjoy a lot of robust following from Nigerians all over. And some of the things that Nigerians in diaspora do to support agendas are some of those issues that you are seeing now. But in the strict sense of contractual engagement between Atiku and any foreign firm, the answer is no.
So there is no employment or engagement of any foreign firm either to work locally or internationally. Because Nigerians are watching and their records. Yeah, and I'm asking you these so that if you tell Nigerians, I have some facts to put forward on some of the issues.
Seun, I have answered it and I have been as truthful, I've been as explanatory as I could possibly be. The answer is no. His Excellency Atiku Abubakar did not engage any foreign firm in a contractual relationship for the purposes that you try to allude. What you're seeing is the effort of members of the diaspora community, Nigerians in the diaspora community, who have a right and an interest to support candidates of their making. And they do it from time to time for other people.
And they perhaps did it on behalf of Atiku Abubakar.
Naturally, when you are engaging on behalf of a particular party, the same way the APC will have their friends in America, London, Australia, and even Japan, that's the same way Atiku will have his own too. And when they're talking about, oh, where are you leaning? They say, oh, I'm leaning on behalf of Atiku. That's how that kind of thing gets to happen.
There is a fact, an alleged fact check on the claims that there was a reporter from the Atiku media office saying that there's no engagement, just like you debunked, there's no engagement. But it turned out that the alleged fact check from an International Center for Investigative Reporting coming up with a trail, because in America, all of these issues are not, the data is there for you to see. And it does look like from the trail, Atiku Abubakar, this is not the first time perhaps the name of Atiku Abubakar will come up on the data of the Department of Justice in the United States in engaging foreign organizations to work on his behalf. It's dated as far back as 2002.
You're missing the point. You're mixing issues, Seun.
No, I'm not mixing issues.
Let me try and
I'm saying you have said that they've never engaged directly. Hold on, Mr. Sowunmi. Hold on. So if I'm sitting right in front of you, if I misinterpret or do not get what you say, what about millions of Nigerians who are watching right now? So the big question is, you said Atiku Abubakar did not directly engage Fein and Valdale PLLC. That's what you said. You said maybe it is by proxy.
No, support groups, yes.
Yeah. So, but the question I'm asking now is the fact that when that trail comes up, Atiku Abubakar's name, are you saying that since 2002, when his name has come up on that website, people have been doing that on his behalf?
I was going to educate you. In 2002, what you would have found there were the activities of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar as a result of trying to put together his university. And that's what led to all of those engagements that you would have probably seen on some of their trails. But in terms of the election of 2019 and activities around his campaign, not to the best of my knowledge is anybody engaged in that kind of contractual relationship.
Do you know his signature? Have you seen Atiku Abubakar's signature?
I will see his signature. I will know his signature.
If I show you his signature now, would you be able to recognize it?
Because I could recognize it.
Some of the alleged facts that have come, and a letterhead dated March the 20th, 2019, from the office of Fein and Delville PLLC, located in New Jersey, in Washington, D.C., has shown the engagement mail written to Atiku Abubakar, and he acknowledged.
He acknowledged his mail.
So it was even, the letter. So it was even attached as sort of a document as evidence on the website of the Department of Justice.
No. So you said there is an electronic, is there an electronic signature that has Atiku's name? I think you better be careful what you believe.
No, that's why I say an alleged fact check on this. And we're trying to educate Nigerians based on what you're putting forward.
Seun, listen, I have just said to you, to the best of my knowledge and as far as I know, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar did not engage, employ, deploy, or pay any foreign lobbyist group on his behalf. I've shown you a window of how it could have happened. That all Nigeria it has a very large interested diaspora community. I did a couple of meet and greet meetings in America just before the campaign. And part of what I saw when I went for those meet and greet meetings was that the Nigerian diaspora community are quite animated and interested in the issues here. And some of them do a few things in their own opinion to support the campaign. Beyond that, more cannot be said.
How much was paid for?
I wouldn't know because
hold on. I'm not even asked a question.
You said how much was paid?
No.
Okay,
can you calm down, Mr. Sowunmi?
Mr. Sowunmi.
The big question is the fact that the trip that your principal made to Washington.
Okay.
How much was paid for that trip as the lobbying group that worked on that?
No, that's silly. Look, Seun, Atiku Abubakar has been to America many times before in his life. He used to have a house there. At some point in time, he stopped going to America. He founded an American-style university in Nigeria. There were some issues that were clarified. He got irritated and never bothered to look for a visa. When it became...
On what grounds did he travel?
I'm going to answer.
Did he get a waiver?
When it became an unending Achilles heels, okay, he decided, okay, let's go get this visa. He got a visa. He goes to America. I think the Senate President, Senator Buhari Saki, and him were all on the trip. At first it was he couldn't go there. Then he's there. Then he was in the handbag. Look, Seun, the important thing is this. His Excellency Atiku Abubakar is a bona fide free citizen of the world entitled to move, to travel according to the entry requirements.
But did he get a waiver to travel to the United States?
He got a visa to travel to America.
It's a visa. All right, so we are getting, you're on record. So sometimes when people say stuff and you get to be able to...
So this is not an inquisition, it's an interview.
It's an interview. So let's
keep it within...
There are other allegations, there are other stuff that are out there.
So why do I get the impression that all you're interested in every unsubstantiated crook-up allegation and it's going to be an inquisition day? Seun, Atiku is not on trial here.
Mr. Sowunmi, this is not an inquisition.
Yeah, that's what
it's an interview.
It's beginning to
and
look
this
like
is in the interest of Nigerians.
When you ask
when
you ask a question, do not concede that you have the answer you want to hear.
Absolutely not.
You must concede that you have a right to lay your question on the table, and I, as spokesperson, have a right to answer you.
Absolutely.
And if there are other issues...
That's the reason, Mr. Sowunmi.
So lay the question on the table and let me answer you.
No, okay. So that's the reason why I put some of this fact as allegations. So it doesn't look like there is a position.
So if
you respect that?
If it is not an allegation...
Do you respect that, Mr. Sowunmi?
If it's not an allegation, if you bring a situation onto the table, I provide you an answer. You can go further and do a follow-up question, but you can't do an inquisition on an answer that I provided for you.
No, but Mr. Sowunmi, it behoves on those of you who are in the public space.
Absolutely.
To be able to tell Nigerians the truth. But when there are contravening... Hold on, calm down, Mr. Sowunmi.
Calm down, Seun.
We are not in an inquisition room.
Exactly. I wanted us to be sure of that.
What I'm trying to do is to ask you questions.
Ask.
And if they are not in tandem with some of those facts that are out there, then I'm asking again just to confirm.
Seun,
so let's move forward.
It depends on what you want to believe. Me or the facts you say you have.
I've dealt with politicians enough to want to find out the truth.
Well, Seun, you can take it with a pinch of salt, but the truth is always the truth.
Mr. Sowunmi.
Next question.
Is Mr. Atiku Abubakar a Nigerian?
I think that comment, I guess, is coming up from the filings of the APC to the petition around the election tribunal. And I hear that there's something to the intention to say that perhaps in the imagination, the Nigerianness of Atiku Abubakar is under question. I would just say that some of these things are sub judice, so we have to be extremely, extremely careful the way we delve into them. But without breaking the law or jumping into immediate trial, what I would just say is this. The Federal Republic of Nigeria, as we know it, is made up of states, about 36 of them, plus Abuja, making 37. 774 local governments, including the ones in Adamawa, and so many other ones. And Atiku Abubakar is one of the citizens of the country, Nigeria. Atiku Abubakar has been the former vice president of this country, GCON, and I think that when these kinds of issues come up, you even begin to query who exactly and what exactly is the geographical expression of Nigeria. Because the world has become such a global village where one little thing in one corner of the world could reverberate all over and give such an unpleasant perception about people, I think we should just say Atiku is a Nigerian. He's the Waziri of Adamawa. He's a more than 20 years, very senior custom officer, retired. He's a former vice president, former governorship candidate. And I think that every territory of Nigeria is a Nigerian territory. When we will look at what they have written in their petition, and I'm sure that when we get to court, our lawyers will engage that. But I would just plead that we do not hurt ourselves beyond reasonable acceptability and make ourselves the laughingstock of the world if we begin to throw red herrings instead of dealing with real substantive issues.
Some of the facts on the table is that it was born in Jeddah.
Jeddah is in Nigeria.
In Adamawa State. But there are challenges. I mean, there are people who are challenging the fact that it was actually not born there. Those are the petition. I mean, the information that we have.
Oh, they have an idea that he was born somewhere else?
No, that's the question I'm asking, that there are people who are saying that he wasn't born in Nigeria.
Look, Sheung, more than anybody, even more than His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President, with greatest respect to him, most Nigerians can almost reel out Atiku's life. They can tell you where he was born. They can tell you who his father was. They can tell you what his father did. They can tell you who his mom was. They can tell you almost everything about Atiku. And everything about Atiku Abubakar is clearly that of Nigeria. In actual fact, Atiku's father, Atiku's grandfather, is actually from Sokoto. Atiku's grandfather followed his friend to Adamawa, then was Gongola. And Atiku's grandfather gave birth to Atiku's father in there. But it has never been under guesswork that Atiku is a full-fledged, bona fide Nigerian. Any other thing to the contrary, since they're going to be laying it before a court of competent jurisdiction, I want to say that we should let the court deal with that. But let me also quickly, for the benefit of the Nigerians, or those who may not be aware of history. Many years ago, during the MPN Shagari days, there used to be a man called Shugaba in Borno State then, who, because of ill-advised politics, was called a non-Nigerian and asked to be a Chadian, even deported. They went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that that's not the way to play politics. And between 1999, when we got into this democratic era, the political space has been handled with a lot of decorum and civility. The lowest low that Nigeria has reached seems to be now that we have handed power, or Nigerians have voted in 2015 for the APC and Muhammadu Buhari, and everything we thought we had evolved beyond has suddenly come back now to hurt us. I believe that there's no sense in that. Nobody can be more Nigerian than Atiku, and I think that Atiku is a bona fide Nigerian. He's contested, he has son and old, he's been vice president, he's everything. That's right. As Nigerian as Nigeria can be.
Mr. Sowunmi, as you know, not an easy man to talk to in an interview like this.
So you're not an easy person to talk to.
On some of the contending issues.
Yes.
Your party did say that what happened on the field at the election were not exactly the outcome or the true reflection. What the outcome of the election are not the true reflection of what happened on the field. Do you still hold that stance?
Yes, we do.
What's the evidence you have?
So, look, I think that it's important that I step backward a little bit for the purposes of Nigeria, lest they don't even understand precisely what is before us. No decent Nigerian can be happy with the things that played out in the 2019 election. The level of violence, the level of voter suppression, and all of the issues. After 20 years in a democracy, there's a way you expect the system to have self-corrected and to have been an improvement. We have gone into that election, we have all seen what has happened, and it's within the right of the candidates who have issues to challenge it. His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and the PDP have pulled in all of those numbers. They've collected all their data from all of the sources that are legitimately able to give it to them, their agents and what have you, and they have built a very strong case in our opinion, and we have laid it before a panel that is well empaneled for the same purpose, the Election Tribunal. We have issues with overvoting. We have issues with substantial non-compliance with the guidelines. We have issues even with whether His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari has even the certificate and the minimum requirement of O-level to qualify to continue. We have issues with numbers not adding up. We have issues with overvoting. We have issues with accreditation. We have issues with inconclusivities and why areas that were declared inconclusive in one election suddenly became conclusive when they were in a hurry to get out of the presidential election. We have issues with disparity. We have quite a lot of issues. But those issues have now been codified and about 400 witnesses put together for the purposes of trial. And like I always say, I do not believe that we benefit from doing a trial in the media before the trial commences. We will speak to it as much as we can, but we must be careful not to delve into a media trial. What is on the table is that we do not accept that result. In actual fact, we think that our mandate, the mandate of Atiku Abubakar and PDP was stolen. We intend to retrieve it. We put together a team of lawyers and we put whatever we can put. We're ready for trial. All of these red herrings, oh, he borrowed, he went to America, he got lobbies, his father is from Sokoto, his mother is from Zimbabwe. It's not going to cut it. The issues that we're interested in is what happened on and during that election.
Would your party and your team be challenging the candidacy of President Buhari, whether or not he has the prerequisite to run for office?
We'll challenge it. The reason why
that has come up in the past.
Yeah, no. It's never come up to trial. No court, no set of judges have ever looked at those issues and made a pronouncement on it. Now it's time for them to actually take a pronouncement on it. And if they want to say, okay, it doesn't matter if you don't have WAEC, you can go and be president, then we'll know that's the law. But until we test it in trial, we'll never know. It's not enough to explain.
So your party believe that it does not have the, based on even what it showed to Nigerians at the presidential villa?
Look, the more you try to take in what they are saying on behalf of the president and his simple WAEC, the more you wonder why they are cooking one lie to cover one lie and cooking, the more you get suspicious.
You believe that someone who grew up to the rank of a general in the army does not have...
I'm sure you have never read the book of the very first commissioned general in the Nigerian army, Abba Malari. Malari was NA1, the very first commissioned officer of the Nigerian army, who probably trained all of them. And it was a tradition in those days for them to haul people out of schools and just send them into the army for training. And some of them were not really, there was a way they populated the Nigerian army when they were trying to create it. And it could have created some challenges. But again, I don't want us to go into things that are sub judice. It's before the court. The court will look at it and the court will make a pronouncement. Shehu, you know what I want us to approach this thing? Because I think Nigerians should be interested in what's going on. The way I hope we'll approach this is that we'll allow the court to start. When the courts have, put some things in public, we can come and talk about that. But I do not want us to be jumping ahead of the learned justices to now start getting into the nitty-gritty.
And I understand that, and I respect that.
Thank you.
But before we close with
Are we closing yet? It's 1 hour.
With you. Yeah, we have a 1 hour, but we are hearing from your side. We need to hear from the other side.
Oh, I
so
thought
the
they'll
big
be
question,
here.
no, they will be here. But the big question, another one, quickly if you respond to it. Did you have access to INX server somehow?
You're asking for us to provide on television something that will be unacceptable based on the Evidence Act. There is a way evidence is got, there is a way evidence is produced before a court, and there are pronouncements of courts that will determine whether an evidence is admissible or not. These are real issues that must be argued in court. All I would just say is that we believe very, very strongly, we have enough evidence, we'll produce witnesses, we'll go through trial, we'll lay before Nigerians and the court why we think and why we know we want that election. It's for the defense that is being challenged now to come before the same court and come and lay their stories. And all of these, oh, they got it's not going to cut it. We have gone past that. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria determines and captures all the states within Nigeria and captures all the territories of Nigeria. And I'm not sure that unless we give up any of our territory, I'm not sure we can, eat our cake and have it. And all the issues around the plebiscite of the 1800s and 1900s when they were doing the Southern Cameroon and Northern Cameroon, it's very, very still and outdated. So of no consequence.
You probably will do anything home and abroad to ensure that your what you see as a stolen mandate stands.
I think that what you must understand is that lobbying is a recognized tool in diplomacy. You can't get anything, even in international diplomacy, if you don't have some way of lobbying. When you want an act passed, a law passed, you want to lobby for some more money, you want a topic to be discussed in General Assembly, that's what lobbyists do. And it is not strange that lobbyists are around and interested in big government. And I say with the greatest respect to the world, Nigeria is also a big enough nation to try and make sure that lobbyists play one or two roles. But
perhaps Atiku Abubakar did employ lobbyists.
You are insisting on believing the lie that you want to believe.
No, I'm asking. It's a question, Mr. Sowunmi.
I've answered this.
You don't have to be on the defense.
I'm not being defensive. I've answered this.
You had laid it on the table, and I'm asking, did you engage lobbyists?
I have just told you, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar directly did not engage lobbyists. But some of our supporters put a lot of things in our support, including television interviews abroad.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sowunmi, spokesperson of the PDP and Atiku Abubakar presidential
campaign. Thank you, Shehu. It's always a pleasure around you.
It's always some BP growing kind of situation, finding oneself right in front of you. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure around you too. Thank you, Shehu.
All right.